100, Season 4, Episode 10, Die All, Die Merrily. Really enjoyed this episode. Of course, like I figured, it was all the way combat. That was like the whole episode from day to night. We got one single day full of just insane combat, random characters dying, quite a few important characters dying. I was very surprised by how many people actually came in. I was like, okay, of course Rowan's going to be there. He's the king of his people. Of course we have Octavia. I thought, yes, the two of them. Ilian came in with his shock. Luna came in and destroyed all humans. And I was like, okay, that's like 4 people that we know now. And I thought it was just going to be like a one-on-one thing. Eventually, of course, getting down to Octavia and Rowan. And that was just what I assumed all week, pretty much, leading up to this episode. And then Ilian comes out, and I was surprised by that. And then Luna comes in, and it's like, I don't fight for my people. I fight for no one. I fight for death. And when I win, everybody's dead. So I was like, wow, that's definitely not what I was expecting. So they did a lot of crazy stuff. Even the end of this episode was pretty nuts. I mean, honestly, there are a lot of twists and turns in this episode that I really enjoyed. The combat was good too. They really did some good combat in this. A lot of hand-to-hand stuff. We got to see some weapons being used, mostly by Echo, as she basically dishonors her people, which I thought was a great scene, where Rowan isn't happy about what she did. He's like, I'm not my mother. I'm not willing to throw aside honor for glory or for victory. And I love that scene. He was like, you are exiled from your people. Like, when we win, you won't be a part of that. So I thought that was actually a really great scene, because she does do some stuff where I get kind of annoyed with her. It's like, I know why she does it, and for the most part, it seems fine, but she does often go against what he wants because she wants something else. So it was very interesting. It finally came to a head, and that was the last moment for it to come to a head, because Luna is like the Terminator in this episode, and she goes through killing everybody she faces off against. And it was crazy, because of course it comes down to this kind of 2-on-1 battle with Octavia and Rowan versus Luna, and she's taking them both on and everything, but she's about to get delivered the final blow, and Rowan, he flips his blade, and he's about to basically just throw it down like a spear and kill her, and then instantaneously a lightning strike hits, and I was like, okay, what in the world is this? And then just like a flash of black rain hits everybody. So ultimately that's what kind of took them down, because it's burning them, and I was like, oh yeah, Luna wouldn't be affected because she's a Nightblood. So until it gets to like the really, really high levels of radiation, she's fine. She can go through the rain, no problem. And I was like, wow, that really sucks for him, because he was about to deliver that final blow, and it was going to be, him versus Octavia. And the rain is like just in his face and stuff, and he continues to fight. He tries to do it. He takes that first cut, and I was like, yep, this is officially the end of Rowan. And he gets a couple more cuts, and then she decides, instead of just ending him peacefully, at least as peaceful as it can be with acid literally like dripping on your face, she decides instead to drown him in the little fountain. So I'm sure not only could he not breathe because he's drowning in water, but I'm sure it burned because there's acid rain falling into the water. So he's drowning, basically in acid. And I was like, that's probably one of the most painful deaths we've seen in the show when you really think about it. Like, he's already getting burnt up during the fight. He's getting cut in the stomach, cut in the back and stuff until he drops to his knees. And then she drowns him in a pool of what is, pretty acidic water. So I was like, wow, that's a really horrible way for him to go out. And so it comes down to Octavia and Luna. And fortunately, Octavia was able to hide in the right spot, stab Luna in the back, and it's all said and done. So after everything that happened, Echo ends up killing Ilian, so Octavia ends up taking his life because that's what he actually wants. Luna ends up killing Rowan, Octavia kills Luna, and everything is said and done, and she actually decides that instead of all of her people, all of Sky Crew, taking the bunker, everyone will share their bunker equally. So it kind of goes back to kind of where we were in the beginning of the season at Arcadia, where it's like, we get a certain amount of people, the right people, to lead into the next generation. So that's where it was supposed to go. And then we get the ending of this episode where things kind of tie into Bellamy randomly getting dragged off the battlefield, where I was like, okay, it's not going to be Echo, so is it, another fighter? Was the first thing I thought. Was like, maybe they wanted to kind of have the easy way out, so they captured Bellamy and say, hey, Octavia, come Sky Crew, had her brother on the field. So that's kind of where I thought it was probably headed. Then it ends up being that whoever it was grabbed Bellamy to take him into the bunker. And it was like, wow, that is really freaking nuts. So it turns out that it wasn't even Jaha's plan. It wasn't like he came up with some sort of plan to kind of beat out everyone else. It was actually Clark's idea. It was her idea to get all her people down there and basically steal the bunker. And I was not expecting that, honestly. Great way to end the episode. And the craziest thing is that they left two people up there because it's like, well, we get Bellamy, but Octavia's in the fight, so sucks for her. And Kane is waiting with the other ambassadors, so sucks for him. And it's like, wow, they even left two people behind while they were stealing the bunker, and it was just really crazy. I was like, man, I can't believe that was the plan in order to survive. They stole it. They stole the bunker. So I'm very excited for this next episode. We're apparently only getting 13 episodes. I had no idea because they were like, there's only 3 episodes left. And I was like, crap, that means we only get a 13 episode season, which feels super short. I could have sworn the 100 normally gets like 20 episode seasons. I could be wrong and I just don't remember, but I could have sworn that they went into like the 20s. So maybe we just got a short season for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. But man, I'm excited for this next episode. I don't know if we should really expect Bellamy to be killed by Clark, but that would be interesting. I mean, that's the whole point of the next episode, is that, they have their people in the bunker, but Bellamy kind of wants to honor the system at this point. So there's going to be some conflicts there for sure. But I'm very excited for this next episode. I really didn't expect this episode to go the way that it did, with some of the characters coming in and dying off. I figured Octavia would win and that Rowan would end up being killed off, but I didn't expect them to bring in Ilian and kind of finish his journey out. Luna comes in, they actually finish her journey out as well, so it's just like, man, I really wasn't expecting things to play out the way that they did, but certainly love this episode. We'll see what Echo does as well, because she is still a very important character, and now she doesn't even belong to her clan anymore because Rowan banished her, and I'm sure she'll actually honor that, but maybe she won't, so we'll have to see how that plays out exactly, which it wouldn't surprise me if she didn't, just because of her character, but I'm really curious if she'll honor that, especially considering, he died. So looking forward to the next episode, but of course we'd love to know what you guys thought about this one, so please comment below, let me know your favorite parts, or least favorite parts, and I actually want to know how you guys felt about the character deaths in this episode. Like I said, for me personally, I expected Rowan not to make it. I figured Octavia would win through whatever means, but Ilian coming in and being killed off actually surprised me because of the way they kind of did his character, with him basically being completely distraught in the beginning and then kind of changing a little bit over time. He changed very little because he did go through like the ultimate destruction of Arcadia, so he didn't change that much. But he has his minor change in like the last couple episodes, him and Octavia. And then of course Luna trying to help everyone, and then things kind of switching around. Also, I totally forgot to mention, I'm glad I was thinking about it, but she mentioned when she first ran into Octavia, where it was like, Sky Crew taught me that people are selfish to the core and everything. And the first thing I thought was like, aren't you the person that everybody hates because you just left like the entire, purpose of your people and the entire thing that you guys follow, you left that because you didn't want to fight? Like, isn't that a little selfish? I mean, granted, she killed her brother, so, I guess it's not like you want to keep going through that, but also she did it, so it's like, you think, if you're going to leave, you would do it before you killed your brother, but then you already do it, and then you took off anyway, and you, like, abandoned your entire, like, literally everyone that you knew and everything that you knew. You left them up to just chaos, pretty much. But she's like, Sky Crew is the most selfish and everything. I was just like, that was interesting to me, because everybody hates you for being super selfish, and it was a very odd context, because she, like I said, she went through with killing her brother, and then she was like, nah, and then she left after killing her brother, and it's like, that's a weird time to turn into that, to be like, I don't want to kill anymore. You'd think you'd do that beforehand, but it was just interesting when she's like, Sky Crew taught me that, people are selfish to the core, and I was just like, that's very interesting coming from Luna of all people, especially the person who decided, despite what anyone tells you or shows you, you get to choose who you are, and she once again came in as the selfish person, like, I'm just going to kill everybody if I win. So, gotta be honest, she was being a bit of a hypocrite talking about who's the most selfish when she's literally trying to like wipe out all of humanity by winning, and then saying nobody gets to be in the bunker. So it was just very interesting, but she's dead now, so it really doesn't matter. But I would love to know what you guys thought about the character deaths, also how they died. Some ways were surprising. I figured Ilian would die, like even in that scene I was like, I feel like he's going to get stabbed in the back or something. It was just like they're out in the open. I didn't think it would be Echo hitting him with an arrow, to be totally honest. I thought it would just be like he'd get stabbed or hit in the head or something like that. But it was just like boom, right through the neck. And I was like, well, there he goes. Like, that's it. But very interesting way to do the character deaths, and certainly more important deaths than I was expecting. I just thought every character was going to be random except for Rowan and Octavia, so they certainly added a nice level of surprise during the fights in this episode. But we'd love to know what you thought about the character deaths, and of course, what you guys thought about this episode in general, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.